So what we're going to talk about here in my practical session is a little bit of an inside look of how I look at my clients, regardless of whether they're athletes or just weekend warriors or someone who wants to be able to move better. The basis of this is a concept called the joint by joint approach that Mike Boyle and Greg Cook came up with, and it states that the body is comprised of a alternating system of mobile joints connected to stable segments. So when one of those sections breaks down, there's going to be some kind of issue going on in the next part of the chain. So the basis of all that, when it comes to the TPI screening that I do, is, oops, got out of it when I needed to. So I'm going to show you this real quick. This is what I do with one of my clients that comes in for a golf screening. It's just 16 real quick movements that we take a look at. And with Tucker, we already screened him. And so once I get done with the test, this is what the results page looks like. And so any of these red lights over here are going to be our biggest things to concentrate on. So we'll probably spend 15, 20 minutes at the beginning of a session working on these issues. And with Tucker, the biggest one I wanted to show was his overhead squat. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll start him off. Tuck's going to take the bar over his head, set it on top of his head. All right, so we want the elbows to be at 90 degrees before we go up. Hands go up as high as you can. Feet are going to be about shoulder width apart. And then we're going to go down into a squat as far as you can go while keeping that bar over your head. Okay, so we take a look at how he's going, come back up. You want to do everything about 3 times so you can get a decent idea of how they're moving. We'll just do that. Go ahead and face the wall that way. All right, so from side on, go ahead and go down. So what we're looking for a passing test is for his butt to get past parallel and his torso and his shin angle to be parallel. All right, so my favorite thing that they've ever told us, Dr. Greg Rose had really good pieces of tidbits of information for us, and he said if it looks like it can improve, they failed the test. So what we're going to look at now, we're going to take the arms out. Tuck, we'll put your fingers together, hands behind your neck. All right, go down into a squat again. So we're taking the upper body out of it, and it still looks similar to, go ahead and face me, that way they can see you. Looks real similar to what it was before. All right, so next thing we're going to do is check his ankles. So go ahead and take your shoes off. And we'll get in a half kneeling position. There we go. And so what I'm going to have them do is I'll tell them, you want to kind of imagine that this is a javelin, and if you were jousting, you want that femur to come straight forward. All right, so what we're looking at here, go ahead and come all the way forward. We want to see how far he can go before the ankle or the heel starts coming off the ground. So come on back, go again, right there. So right around there, and then we put a line from the knee down. Ideally, we want to see about a palm's width away. So with him, ankle mobility on this side's an issue. Go ahead and switch. And then come on forward. Go back again. Go back again. Slowly stop. So on this side, it's even further behind, which he's already told me his history on that ankle, and so these are the 2 big issues that we're going to have to work on when it comes to his squat form. Go ahead and come back up. If he had good ankle mobility and still had that squat that looked like that, we might be looking at the hips to see, does he have any mobility issues in that area or in the core that's causing him not to be able to go all the way back down. All right, that's good with that. So with his stuff going on in his ankles, what we'll check is it a passive thing or an active thing? So if he can't pull his feet up, actually, let's go ahead and I'll show real fast what we did. Have a seat. Feet, legs out. All right, so pull your toes back. All right, so if this is as far as he can get actively, relax. I'm gonna see if we can go any further, which it's about the same on both sides. So if he's got an issue with his motion passively and actively, that's probably gonna be an issue that I can't help him with, and I need to send him to another professional that can do more hands-on mobility, possibly therapy work on him. So yeah, that's the big breakout of the overhead squat, and you're good if you don't want to hang around here. So the next piece of when it comes to my athletes or whatnot that I'm working with, there's a movement, we call it a split stance press or pull. So we get set one foot in front of the other. Usually I'm on the cable machine. And you put about 30% of their body weight on that stack. So you get set here, make sure they're nice and stable, and we're just pushing with one arm, okay? And if they can't do this motion without falling over, or they have to really, you just see a lot of extra movement, as well as being here, staying stable and not having to do anything kind of crazy. If they can do that well, then they have adequate stability and strength to be able to play golf. And I usually do that one with most any athlete that I work with, just because it gives me a really good idea of how strong are they, how stable are they, and do we need to really work on more stability. If they can't do it that way, I'll have them just come down to a knee and push through there, because you'll see the weaker athletes still won't be able to push straight forward. They'll be doing a lot of compensating to get through it. So that's pretty much the basis of how I start off my first session when it comes to my golfers or my other athletes.